All right, guys. So we are ready to collect our data for our dew point and relative humidity lab using what's called a psychrometer. So all psychrometers have two thermometers on them. One, it's the dry bulb. It's just a thermometer with nothing on the bottom. And the wet bulb has a piece of cloth or a piece of gauze attached to the base of it. Okay? So the first thing that I'm going to do is put a little bit of water on the cloth here to wet the wet bulb thermometer. Now I don't have a dropper like it says in the instructions, so I'm just going to put a little bit of water on my finger and put a couple drops on the cloth that way. So it's like saturated but not dripping. All right. So we've got water on our wet bulb cloth. Now the next thing we want to do is just wave it for 2 whole minutes. All right, so that was 2 minutes later. Now the next thing we need to do is to read the temperature on both of our thermometers. I hope that this will be in focus enough so that you guys can read it. So the first one here is the dry bulb thermometer. And our temperature is counting in increments of 1 degree Celsius. Okay, so I'm going to let that sit there for a moment so you guys can record your data for trial 1 for the dry bulb thermometer. And now for the wet bulb thermometer. Again, the thermometer is counting by single degrees, okay? So go ahead and record your data for trial 1 for the wet bulb thermometer. And now we're just going to do this 3 more times. So I just waved the thermometer for 2 more minutes. So now we're going to read the thermometers and record our data for trial 2 in our data tables. So again, we're going to start with the dry bulb thermometer. I'm going to do my best to position it so you guys can read it from the video. So, read the thermometer. You're going to record your temperature in degrees Celsius. And now, the wet bulb thermometer. Oh, there's a little bit of a glare. There we go. All right, so we just did another trial. I'm going to show you guys the thermometers, and you can record your data for trial 3 in the data tables. Then we got one more left. All right, so again, we got our dry bulb and our wet bulb thermometers. We're going to start with the dry bulb. Gotta tilt it the right direction here. Oh, man. There we go. Hopefully you guys can see that clearly enough to record it in your data table. Be as precise as you need to. If you need to use decimals, use some decimals. And now we're going to take a second look at our wet bulb thermometer. There we go. All right, and here we are, trial 4, our last round. And sometimes you get a cat in the video. All right, so here's our dry bulb thermometer. There we go. Give you guys a second to... Sorry if it's moving. There we go. And our wet bulb thermometer. All right, and the last thing you guys are going to need to do with those numbers is to finish filling out the rest of your data table. You're going to calculate the difference between the dry bulb and the wet bulb for each trial that we did.